Alright guys, so for this video I actually thought of this topic pretty spontaneously, so I thought I'd just kind of wing it again, like without notes, but I'm still trying to keep it short and sweet. And the question I want to ask today is, do you need to be a prodigy in order to be an artist? Because we all know these kind of people that just who seem to be just so flawless in what they do, and they have no problems whatsoever, and they seem like they have been born with the skill that they have, and they just destroy everything with their music, their podcasts, their paintings, their actings, whatever artistic skills you may have. There are some prodigies who just seem to have sort of been born with what they can do. And do you have to, in order to be successful, do you have to be one of them? Because sometimes I feel like I'm not enough, or to be honest, everyone feels like that sometimes. But especially with music, sometimes I feel like I don't know enough. Because, for example, if I want to play a cover live, I can play like Through the Valley. I recently uploaded a cover of this on my YouTube. And it's pretty easy for me to play this fingerstyle sort of riff, even though I'm not a fingerstyle guy. I'm more like power chords and shit. But I can play this because, it's the song, it's the vibe of the song. And I can also sing this song like, 'cause I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind. And so on and so on. But the thing is, I can't do both things at the same time. So the fingerstyle stuff and the singing, no way. I have to do the fingerstyle for the intro, and then the singing, and like I just did, just play some chords while I'm singing, because my musical brain is not that far yet to just combine all of those things into one. So the thing I'm asking myself is, do I even have to be able to perform those things at the same time? Because I know a lot of people who are very talented musicians, like singers, guitar players and singers, and they do all of that at the same time, and I have nothing but respect for them. But somehow I feel like they still don't have as much output as I do, because being a creative person is something else as being a guitarist or a singer, a good guitarist or a good singer, or a good singing guitarist, whatever. It's completely different skills to write music and think of certain things than to play music. And I think that's actually some brain science I don't know about, but it seems pretty interesting because I really think there's people who are very creative and who can write songs, and things just flow out of them naturally. And then there's people who can like do all of the shit at the same time, and maybe they're not that creative. And maybe there's people who even can do everything, like both things. And but that's not me. I'm more of like a creative guy, and I think actually that's okay, and that's also okay for you. Like don't be discouraged if you can't do 100 things at the same time. Like you don't need to record your song in one go, you don't need to do it live, you don't need to be in the studio like ah, na, 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 na. Just do one thing at a time, see what happens, and if you actually like what you have written, then you can work on playing it live well. And I'm still stuck at a point where I'm just playing simple chords when I'm performing live somewhere, because in my opinion, yes, it would sound more like the original if I would do it just like it is in the original, with all the finger picking and all the licks and I don't know what. But sometimes it's just enough to have your voice in a few simple chords, and if that's all you can do at the moment, then go ahead and do it, because it's better to work with what you have than do nothing just because you're not at the level you want to be yet. So, to come back to my question, do you have to be a prodigy in order to write music, make music, release music? I don't think so, because I know some prodigies, and yes, they can play the same chord on 10 different frets and positions on the guitar, and yes, they know 500 different practices for singing, but have they ever like put out any creative piece of work? Not that I know of. Like maybe one or two things they tried around with, but I think it's more like some people are mathematic and some people are artistic. I think it's the same thing. I think if you know how to play like the same chord on guitar on, like I said, 10 different places, then you're more of a mathematical brain, even though you're doing art. But if you write songs and can actually think of something creative, and you don't have the know-how to just play all sorts of fancy stuff, then I think you're just a creative brain without the whole like left brain sort of thing. I don't know which is which, but I think you know what I mean. So, to come to an end, I think you don't have to be a prodigy to be an artist, and I think there's people who are better at creating music, and then there's people who are better at learning music, like theory and those kind of things. And I actually wanted to make another video about music theory in particular, but that's gonna be another one. So yeah, that's my thoughts for today, and take care.